Welcome to this retro content from Throwback Thursdays, whether it's from NoDQ.com, the Jeff Meacham Network, Casa D18 Studios itself, a Simple Man's brand, or the J. Hebert Studios, and anything to do with FTW Productions. This will be the content re-aired right here on Throwback Thursdays that you could expect to see on the Casa channel. I know watching back some of our old content, whether it's the Open Mic Night intro where I'm laid on my bed, which I kind of cringe at, especially with this cool-ass setup now, or whether it's, just about anything to do with what we have done on FTW Productions, from a Simple Man's brand, from the J. Hebert Studios, to even some Insanity Works and Retro Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated stuff. There's some good stuff, there's some cringe stuff, and either way, I hope you guys enjoy that stuff coming up, and, even if you didn't enjoy it, I'll be along with you for the ride. Some of the stuff does not age well, like Jeff's content does. I know he has done a deep dive on his own content and cringed at his own self, but either way, I hope you enjoy it regardless. I know in some of these clips, I have a fondness to them. So with that being said, enjoy this Throwback Thursday, and until next time, we'll see you on the J. Hebert side.
Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Welcome everyone to episode number 5 of Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com or MySpace or YouTube, wherever you're watching the shows. We got a lot of hits on the last show. Once again, thank you so much to everybody who's watching the show. And let's not waste any time, let's just get right into your questions. This one comes from Keith in Tampa, Florida. Jeff, do you think WWE should have a television championship? Not one for each brand, just have one TV champion. Have a 16-man tournament, 5 from each brand, and a write-in vote. No. I think, I mentioned this on a previous show, I believe, that WWE has more than enough titles. If they were going to bring back any championship, they should bring the hardcore title back to ECW. I don't think they're going to bring in a television championship. I think that's kind of silly. Each brand has their own world champion, their own tag team champion, their own secondary champion, and their exclusive brand championship, the women's championship and the cruiserweight championship. I don't think that adding the championship to any brand will be beneficial to anybody. Like I said, if they're going to bring back any championship, they should bring the hardcore championship back and make it a part of ECW. I don't think that a TV championship would be, like I said, very beneficial at all. I think a TV championship will just add, to the confusion on Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays. Having one guy appear in all 3 brands would be really silly. Next one comes from Brenna. Who do you think will be the new generation of superstars, since most of the superstar main eventers are now getting close to retirement, such as Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, etc.? Mr. Kennedy is going to be a main eventer for the next few years, for sure. Bobby Lashley, he's already been a main eventer, he's going to continue to be so. Randy Orton, Batista's going to still be a main eventer. MVP. Oh, somebody brought up MVP. They brought up the fact that I made fun of his little shuffle at the beginning of last show, or during a portion of last show, and they think I don't like him. I love MVP. He's a great character. He's a great U.S. champion. I have no problem with MVP whatsoever, so don't think I don't like MVP, because I do. I really like him a lot. MVP is going to be a main eventer for the next few years, I hope. Let's take a look up here. Who's up here? Umaga's still going to be a factor for a while. Booker's looking toward retirement, so maybe not so much him. London and Kendrick are going to be tag team main eventers. Cade Murdoch are going to be main event tag teamers for a while. There's still quite a bit of names on the roster. You got the new Hart Foundation coming up out of OVW. Teddy Hart and Harry Smith along with Natty Neidhart. They're going to be a great team when they come up, if not singles wrestlers. You've got... if they bring him back up, Jay Bradley's going to be a great main eventer from OVW if they bring him up. Paul Burchill has the potential to be a great main eventer too if they push him the right direction. So there's a lot of guys that they still haven't pushed yet that are still right there on the cusp. And my dogs are barking. Quiet! Taping the show here, damn it. Alright, this one is from Kevin Cook. If TNA was to fire Vince Russo, do you think it would help or hurt TNA? Vince Russo is a different personality in this business by far, but I don't think firing him will benefit TNA whatsoever. I think that the writing is starting to, make a turn in TNA with him being there, and I think that he is a big part of TNA's resurgence as far as making a threat against WWE. I don't think firing him will be beneficial to anybody. I think that Vince Russo is a big factor in TNA. I think Vince Russo is a great writer. I think Vince Russo is a good personality to have around. Yes, he has a bad reputation for WCW. Yes, he has a bad reputation for the way he originally booked TNA. But lately, he's done a really good job. And I think that he will continue to do a good job and continue to have a positive impact on TNA. So I think firing him will be nothing short of bad news. Alright, this is one from Josh Terrace. Not Josh Tariff. Josh Terrace. T-A-R-I-S. Would TNA bringing in Goldberg or Hulk Hogan help them against WWE? That's a good question. I think that anybody coming into TNA would be a help. I think that Goldberg would be a definite ratings booster. People still are interested in Goldberg. He had a hit show on Spike. What was it, Bull Run or whatever it was called? That was a big hit, and Spike TV likes Goldberg. Hogan coming in is always a ratings booster, no matter where he is, TNA, WWE, wherever he is. Hulk Hogan is a guaranteed ratings booster for at least a few weeks. So either one of those two coming in would definitely help TNA for sure. This one is from TWF Entertainment. First off, your show rocks. Well, thank you. Second, I was wondering what your opinion is on ECW's Kevin Thorne. I think he could be a major player, but he doesn't have any titles to go after. Yeah, Kevin Thorne has proven himself more than he ever did. When he was Mordecai, it was a joke. He was, it didn't last too long, and rightfully so. I think Mordecai was a bad character to bring in. They were going to have a feud with The Undertaker, which I think was going to be, the blow-off feud for him. He was going to go away anyway, and he kind of went away before that even happened. But he's definitely found his niche as Kevin Thorne. Kevin Thorne is a great character. Kevin Furtick, the man behind the character, is a great wrestler. He's proven that. He's had some great matches with Tommy Dreamer. He had a couple of good matches with Stevie Richards the last couple weeks. Stevie Richards getting the upset victories. But I think that Kevin Thorne has only upwards to go. I think he could be a contender for the ECW Championship at some point. I think that once the CM Punk John Morrison feud resolves itself, I think he could be a top contender for the World Championship. Alright, this one is from Zach. Do you believe the WWE somewhat constricts their wrestlers from performing to their fullest potential versus TNA, Ring of Honor, so on and so forth? I think they feel they have to. I think that WWE has toned down the aerial offense to a point. You see guys like Paul London, who was flying all over the place in Ring of Honor. You see guys like Jeff Hardy, who would fly all around in TNA, and you see guys like Jeff Hardy does a lot of flying still in WWE, but not as much as he used to back in the old WWF Attitude days. So I think that WWE does limit their superstars to a point, but I think that they're still getting the ratings, they're still getting, the fans are following them, they're still getting the, the attention that they want. So, I don't think limiting the superstars is really hurting them. I just think it's trying to keep their superstars safe. This is from Drew B. Why does WWE insist on keeping John Cena WWE champion for so long? It seems like they want him to be the next Bruno Sammartino and have him hold the title for 8 years. I hope Randy Orton beats him at SummerSlam, and they should set up another Triple H Randy Orton feud. You know what? I tend to agree with you on the Randy Orton Triple H thing, but the reason they're keeping John Cena as WWE champion, I mentioned this on the show more than once, is because John Cena is the most marketable guy they have. John Cena is their guy. John Cena is their current Stone Cold, their current Hulk Hogan, their current Rock, their current, Triple H. He is the guy that, Vince is putting all the money behind. He's a movie star. He's a great athlete. He is a great talker. He sells merchandise. You go to a WWE show. I went to the house show back in Anaheim a couple weeks ago. No more than half, no less than half, if not 3/4 of the audience had John Cena merchandise on. They were wearing his spinner belt. They were wearing the foam belt. They were wearing T-shirts, hats, the little pendants. John Cena's over. He's a great athlete, and he's incredible. And he's going to be their superstar for a long time to come, if not, for a long, long time. But I think that Randy Orton's time has come, and I think that Randy Orton's going to have a brief run as WWE champion and set up a Triple H feud going into Unforgiven and perhaps even No Mercy. So I think that John Cena is going to lose the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Maybe we'll do official predictions for SummerSlam on the next show. But for right now, I think that John Cena's time has finally come. He's going to be a contender for a while and not a champion. This is from Rebleached. Very interesting name. It seems as of late the storylines in WWE have been lacking. Do you think that this is because of Steph being part of creative or lack of talent being able to pull them off? I don't think it's really either. Stephanie has been part of creative for a long time. I think that Stephanie being a part of it's not really, the ultimate factor. I think it's a number of things. I think that, they're not pushing talent properly. It's not lack of talent being able to pull them off. It's just the talent's not being pushed properly. I think that, there are certain talent that should be pushed or certain talent that shouldn't be pushed. I think that's a big factor as well. I think that the WWE creative team, besides Stephanie, maybe needs to step up to the plate a little bit more. I think they, need to come up with better storylines. It's not just Stephanie. Stephanie is not the end-all, be-all. She is the head writer of creative. She's the executive vice president in charge of creative. But, it's not ultimately just her. Vince is also a very big factor. Vince has final say. So, if anything, it's the responsibility of Vince McMahon to make sure the creative storylines are going through. I think what they're doing now with the illegitimate child is interesting. It's different. I think that they're pushing toward the John Cena Randy Orton match is good. I think pushing toward Umaga being a babyface is pretty good. There's a question down here later about pushing Umaga. I think Umaga being a babyface will be a very interesting turn for him. I think they're starting to step in the right direction again. This is from Fong Hang, I guess. What do you think of Chuck Palumbo on SmackDown? Do you think he's going to be a powerhouse there? Oh, also, I love your show. You do an awesome job. Well, thank you very much. I get a lot of compliments today. I like this. This is cool. My shirt's unbuttoned. I just realized that. Chuck Palumbo on SmackDown, I don't know about that gimmick, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that, I think Chuck Palumbo could have found something that, you know, is maybe better, wrestling-wise. I don't know how long this gimmick is going to last. I mean, he's basically just squashing jobbers right now. That can only last so long. I think that if they want to keep Palumbo going, they need to push him away and just kind of have him be a wrestler, not be a biker. You know, the Undertaker worked as a biker because that's who he was. And yes, Chuck Palumbo really is a biker, and yes, that's who he really is. But honestly, I think that Chuck Palumbo's standing power has proven that he needs to just stand on his own and do his own thing. So hopefully this biker thing will work for him, but if it doesn't, you may see the last of Chuck Palumbo before too long. This one comes from Hazard F5. When and if TNA eventually gets 2 hours, who are the top 3 TNA stars you'd like to see more of on Impact and why? Christopher Daniels. I'd like to see more of him. I'd like to see more of Triple X in general, as a matter of fact, so we'll count that as one. I'd like to see AJ get more main event matches. AJ has been kind of relegated to being Tomko's bitch, and it sucks. And Christian's bitch, and it really sucks. I think AJ deserves to be out on his own again. And I would love to see more of Jeff Jarrett come back. I'd like to see Jeff Jarrett come back and be a player like he has been. I'd also like to see guys like Rhino, the James Gang, Team 3D. I'd like to see Kevin Nash mix it up a little bit more if he comes back out of retirement, if he comes back into wrestling full time. I'd like to see, you know, guys they haven't brought into TNA yet. I'd like to see guys from Ring of Honor come over to TNA. I'd like to see Austin Aries, you know, get another shot. I'd like to see Roderick Strong get another shot. You know, any of those guys. You know, I'd love to see in TNA, if he doesn't win the NWA Championship, which I think he will, is American Dragon. Bryan Danielson. He'd be a great addition to TNA if he doesn't win the NWA Championship. This is from Chuck, the Video Game Master Riedel. Let me know how to pronounce that on the next show, Chris. Do you think any UFC stars will come to WWE like Shamrock and Dan Severn did back in the day? Well, they recently put out a Tank Abbott Classic Superstars figure, I noticed, in one of the ads in the magazines. So maybe Tank Abbott will make a big comeback to wrestling, and he'll be one of the superstars. Why did they have a Tank Abbott WWE figure? That's all I want to know. He was a guy in WCW, and he wasn't all that good. Although Vince Russo was talking about making him the next world champion. Oh, God, what a horrible day that would have been. That's one of Russo's ideas where you kind of go, what? Tank Abbott could be a possibility coming back. Tito Ortiz has been, you know, in TNA a few times. He could be in WWE. You know, I'd love to see a guy like Chuck Liddell come to WWE and kick ass. He's a great Ultimate Fighter. But I don't see too many guys crossing over to WWE only because of TNA's association with Spike and the UFC's association with Spike. If anything, we're going to see Ultimate Fighters in TNA, not WWE. So Matthew 18717. Hey Jeff, I absolutely love your show and think you should be employed with the WWE and have your own spot on their website. Well, thank you. WWE.com. You can email them and petition for me to show up. Question: with the talent that the WWE has, should they combine the shows like the good old days and drop some of the sucky undercard wrestlers, or should we all pray WWE comes up with a second coming of The Rock? I'll tell you right now, they're not going to have another Rock. The Rock was The Rock. The Rock was the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. He was the guy for a while, and they're not going to come up with another Rock. The closest guy I can think of that's going to be the next Rock is Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy's supposed to be a heel, and he's getting over really well as a babyface. So if anybody's going to come close to being The Rock, it's going to be either Mr. Kennedy or Randy Orton. Randy Orton's already had his push as another third-generation star, so maybe not so much. But I think that WWE should not combine the shows. They've stuck to this brand extension for 5 years now. I don't see a point in recombining the rosters. I think that everybody was hoping for that this last Monday on Raw with Vince's big announcement and the lashing out, but it ended up being the lashing out against the government, which I thought was very cool. I think that WWE is, like I said, taking a step in the right direction and kind of moving toward where they want to go. So I think, if anything, WWE needs to keep on the path they're on, and they'll be just fine. What do you think of the way they're pushing Umaga lately? I mentioned this earlier. I think pushing Umaga toward being the babyface is a great idea. It's a fresh start for the Intercontinental Champion. I think that having him be a babyface will be good for him. I think that they probably push him into a feud with Carlito going into SummerSlam, which would be nothing short but good for him. Carlito's a great worker. Umaga is a great athlete. Umaga, yes, he seems one-dimensional, but Umaga can fly. He can do any number of things. He's not just one-dimensional. He's not just, the running charge and the Samoan spike. He proved that when he was a 3-minute warning. He can fly. He can do any number of things. He's a great athlete. Back when he was Jamal, the 3-minute warning, back when he was, I believe he's ECMO of the Island Boys. He's a great superstar, and I think him as a babyface will be a fresh start for him. I think it'll be very good for Umaga, and hopefully it'll lead to bigger and better things for him. All right, this one comes from Troy, but it actually came from a lot of different people. How do you feel about the possible Sid Vicious comeback in WWE? I like Sid. I do. He gets a really bad reputation as far as when he was a part of the Horsemen, when he had the incident with Arn Anderson. But I like Sid. I think he's a little bit past his prime to be in WWE. I think he returned to Memphis Wrestling not too long ago, but I don't think he's going to make an impact as far as WWE or TNA. I think that he may come back and may have like 1 or 2 matches, but he won't be a full-time roster member anymore. I just don't see that in Sid's future. I really don't. I want to thank you all very much for watching this short edition. I know it was a short one, but I got through about 14 questions here, so thank you very much to everybody that sent in questions. I know I didn't get to everybody's, but I will get to you eventually. I promise. Please don't fault me. It's just that I've got 80 questions or something in my inbox on MySpace. These are just some of the Yahoo questions I got, so keep them coming. I'll get to them as soon as I can, and we will see you for episode number 6 of Talk Wrestling.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hey everybody, Renegade here, out driving, doing my work thing for the day. But I wanted to take just a moment of your time here on Throwback Thursday to give a brief disclaimer, brief comment about this upcoming episode of A Hardy Conversation. I want you guys to keep in mind, this episode was filmed 13 years ago. I was a completely different person then. Going back, watching some of these episodes, trying to get them ready to air, stuff definitely doesn't age well. I am a complete and utter prick towards the end of this episode to one Michelle McCool, now the wife of Mark Calloway, The Undertaker. I completely apologize in advance for everything that I say on this episode. I don't feel that way anymore. I try to live a life of no regrets because we live by, we learn from our regrets. But if I had to change something about what I did in my podcasting back in the day, it's probably number one draft pick of things that I would change. Because I do regret how just insanely mean I come off towards Michelle McCool. My opinions of her have changed drastically since then. I'm over here calling for her to be a Hall of Famer. Now, I still feel there's some people that deserve to get in there before her. Victoria, Sable, Melina, etc. But I do feel that she deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame now based off of her career. The Renegade you're going to see in this episode, back when I was going by Sean Hardy, would have never went for that. He would have never allowed that. If Michelle McCool or The Undertaker happen to be watching this, because we always joke that WWE has their eyes on the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media. If either of you happen to see this episode, I apologize 150% for the stuff you're about to see coming across your screens here during this episode. I apologize for what I said. I don't mean any of it anymore. I am not going to edit it because I believe in keeping the integrity of the product. That's the whole point about Throwback Thursday, is seeing where we came from and contrasting it to where we are today. It allows us to see how much we've improved, how much we've grown, how much we've developed, how much we have changed. And Michelle, Mark, I am a completely different person now, today, 13 years later, than I was in this episode. And I hope, if either of you see this, you can forgive me. Let's take a look now at episode 5 of A Hardy Conversation.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of A Hardy Conversation. As always, I am Sean Hardy.
And I am Chris Hardy. and we're here to bring you all the goings on in the world of professional wrestling. First up, we're going to talk to you a little bit about Impact, because I was told by a good buddy of mine, the Lady Killer, that the episode .5 that we did a couple of weeks ago was just too much TNA talk. We need to make sure we cut back on it, so here's what I got to say about Impact this past week. If you like the Main Event Mafia, you enjoyed Impact. If you don't like the Main Event Mafia, you were probably bored, because it was a best of the Main Event Mafia scenario. The one good thing that I like is that Angle is now back to being the Godfather, where he should be, because Angle is far and away the better wrestler and more charismatic than Sting. Sting's got the legacy and the history in the business, but Angle is the better talker, bar none.
Sting is not a legacy.
He has a legacy. He's
not
in legacy. Okay. Second thing I liked about the Main Event Mafia storyline is that they've now got Scott Steiner teaming up with Booker Ray. Respectively, each man comprises half of one of the greatest tag teams in history. Of course, Scotty Steiner, half of the Steiner brothers in the early to mid 90s. Awesome tandem before Scotty started doing roids. Booker T, of course, one half of Harlem Heat with his brother Stevie Ray. Awesome tag team in WCW before Booker broke off, went solo, and became the five-time WCW champion, sucker.
Now can you dig that?
Yes, I can. You've also got Sharmell and Jenna feuding with each other within the Mafia to determine who the Supreme Diva is. Whatever. Sharmell, you're ugly. Get over yourself.
True. It's damn true.
So, that was about it on Impact. Samoa Joe has, in fact, joined the Mafia. That should be interesting to see how they're going to do with a young guy that doesn't really have a whole lot of main event experience in the Main Event Mafia, unless he's going to be their enforcer a la Arn Anderson back in the old Horseman days. So stay tuned to Impact to see what goes on with the Mafia, since it seems like that's about all they focus on these days. SmackDown was kind of lackluster this past week. Shelton Benjamin versus R-Truth. Awesome opening contest. Good way to start it off. Unfortunately, that feud's not going to amount to much more since Shelton got traded. We'll discuss that in a little bit. The other match of the night was John Morrison versus CM Punk. And I don't understand why JR tried to make this match seem like it would be an upset if John Morrison won. They kept trying to say that this would be the biggest win of John Morrison's career if he could beat CM Punk. John Morrison has always had CM Punk's number. Rewind a couple years ago, Night of Champions for the vacant ECW title when a certain somebody no-showed because of personal issues. Johnny Nitro, a.k.a. John Morrison, beat Punk for the ECW title. Morrison has always owned Punk. End of story. So I don't know why they kept trying to play it off like it's going to be this upset. John Morrison, as far as I know, has never lost to CM Punk in one-on-one competition.
Well, CM Punk did beat Morrison for the title, so maybe once or twice. But we'll have our good buddy Squeak check that out for us. And
Squeak?
Yeah, Squeak.
You're talking about Stat Boy, the LB kid?
Yes.
Okay, Stat Boy. Squeak, what the heck? Stat Boy, look into that for us. Let us know exactly how many times CM Punk has beaten John Morrison, because I'd be willing to bet they're barely two handfuls. And Morrison, like I said, has owned Punk. Which brings us to the Bash. Chris, why don't you take us to the Bash this past Sunday night?
The Bash had a couple surprises. We have new tag team champions, which are Edge and Jericho. I like this a little bit. I mean, Edge, I think, is now a 12 or 13-time tag team champion.
Don't get too deep into the Edge and Jericho thing. We actually have a question about that. Going to be a little bit later.
But I do like that. I like Edge being a tag team champion. We have a new women's champion, Michelle McCool, which you will have a big rant on in a few minutes.
Make sure you stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, CM Punk retained, but Jeff Hardy won because CM Punk is a big doucheball and wants to get himself disqualified because, ooh, ow, my eye. Please don't let Jeff Hardy beat me for the title again. So he got himself disqualified.
Randy Orton retained in 3 Stages of Hell. As you said before, Tommy Dreamer retained his ECW Championship. So overall, I think it was a decent Great American Bash, and John Cena did beat The Miz.
And Chris Jericho lost his Intercontinental title to Rey Mysterio.
Yes. So Jericho wrestled twice, lost a title, won a title. So
that seems to be the WWE's pattern this year, is win a title, lose a title, like really quickly. Back in No Way Out, Edge lost his title in the first chamber match, won a title in the second chamber match.
Yes.
Jericho loses the IC title, gains a tag title. WWE just seems to be on this little pattern lately, so you need to get off of that pattern real quick, WWE, before it becomes too predictable, like the rest of your programming.
Alright, now on to Raw. Raw was very interesting with the 15 superstar trade, which I have right on my cell phone. Alright, we have Mark Henry, Evan Bourne, Jack Swagger, Alicia Fox, and Gail Kim going to Raw. We have Shelton Benjamin, Goldust, William Regal, and the Bella Twins going to ECW. And we have Matt Hardy going back to SmackDown after, 2 weeks on Raw. Finley and the Hart Dynasty on SmackDown. Now, I like some of these moves. I mean, ECW lost 7 superstars, and now they're on this whole kick of let's bring some rookies in here. We have a Rock, Chris Tucker, MVP wannabe in Elijah Washington.
Abraham Washington.
Oh, sorry, Denzel, whatever Washington he wants to call himself. And we have a new Japanese Tachiri guy, going on here.
And then you've got Sheamus, the Irish powerhouse, who looks like they could do something good with him. It just sucks that they brought him in after they moved Finley, because Finley and him could have made a dynamite tag team.
Yeah.
With the experienced vet teaching the rookie the ways around there, could have been a force to seriously be reckoned with.
And then we have Tyler Rex, which none of us know who he is. So we'll see on Superstars when he wrestles the woo man, Zack Ryder. Yeah, whatever. But overall, Hart Dynasty going to SmackDown. It's a
very good movie.
Yeah, very good movie. I would like to see them on Raw join up with Legacy. They have a huge fashion, but we'll see where that goes.
I still think that by putting them on SmackDown, you could kind of set up the franchise idea that I discussed a couple episodes ago, where you got one part of Legacy on one show, one part of the Legacy on another show, merge them at a pay-per-view or like Survivor Series.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting.
And we have Shelton Benjamin and William Regal going to ECW. So I could see 2 new ECW champions throughout the pan of the year, whatever.
They seriously need to push Shelton and Regal. They've been floundering in mid-card hell for way too long.
I would say Shelton first, because he's never been a world champion, and he can do some amazing stuff on ECW. So I would say him first.
Well, Regal has never been a major world champion either. I mean, they said on ECW he's had like 60 world championships, but I don't think any of those are really a heavyweight championship.
No.
Regal doesn't have too many good years left in him. They need to give him the belt before he retires. Just, they're never going to give him the WWE or World Heavyweight title.
No.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But give him the ECW title. Let him have a nice little run with it, maybe into Mania. Have him lose it to somebody like Shelton, and then he can go on about his merry way.
Now on to questions. So first, mine on my cell phone, from Lana Hardy in San Diego, California. Which show do you think is dominates right now? Raw, SmackDown, or ECW? Now this was before the trade, when she texted me this. So as of right now, it's kind of hard to say, because Raw and SmackDown are very level right now. But I still probably have to give it to SmackDown with Jeff, Matt, Ray, Jericho, Edge, Hart Dynasty, all those elements on there. Was for an amazing show. So I think SmackDown still has the upper hand on that. What do you think?
Before the trades, I would have said ECW, which a lot of people would have laughed at me about a long time ago when ECW first started. But before the trade, they had Bourne, Swagger, Finley, the Harts, Christian, Dreamer, even Kozlov. As much as I don't like him, he's a pretty good powerhouse over there. And even
Ryder.
Mark Henry.
And Zack Ryder.
No.
Woo, woo, woo.
No. So before the trades, I would have had to said ECW because they had the younger, hungrier talent. Now, I might have to agree with you, Chris, that SmackDown has the better talent because on Raw, it's always the same people every week. I love Legacy, but it's always Randy and company. There's always Triple H. There's always Cena. They rarely ever get to elevate anybody anymore over on Raw. SmackDown, you're constantly getting something fresh. You forgot R-Truth and Crime Time over on SmackDown also.
Yes.
3 more good reasons to watch.
Exactly.
Thank you, Lana Hardy. That was a good question. Punk Sucks has a question just for Sean.
Love that name.
He said that last show.
I know.
Hey, Sean, I had a question for you. Do you ever think that WWE will make a face faction to go against the Legacy or the Hart Dynasty? I loved back in the 90s when they had lots of factions, both heel and face. Do you think that they will do that? Unfortunately, right now, I don't think they will do that because they've only got roughly about 30 to 35 talents per show. Most of those guys don't get used, like I just said, because the same people are always getting pushed. If I were to make a faction on Raw to go up against Legacy, I would probably have to put Evan Bourne, Kofi Kingston, and...
Most likely their leader will be John Cena.
No.
I know, but I'm saying if they did.
No. And I'm drawing a blank on who else I would throw over there. It definitely wouldn't be Cena, though. Maybe at this point Triple H, because he's the one that's feuding with Randy the most. But that would be the 3-man faction I'd put together on Raw to feud with them. Over on SmackDown, to feud with the Hart Dynasty, since they're just a level below Legacy, they're still in the mid-card, I would maybe go with R-Truth and Crime Time. Because I think they would be a really good team to stick together, like when we had the CTC a few months back. R-Truth and Crime Time would make a pretty good stable.
Maybe the new Nation of Domination.
Quite possibly. This one is just for you, Chris, and it comes from Super Mario, I Love Scarlet Pain. Hasn't he gotten like a question on every episode so far?
He's a loyal guy.
Hey, we love our loyal fans. Thank you, Super Mario.
Yep.
We salute you. Chris, what match would you like to see for CM Punk and Jeff Hardy at WrestleMania? This is assuming, of course, that Jeff is still around at Mania, because there's still rumors that his contract is up. Don't know how long an extension he signed, if he signed one. He's going on per appearance. Don't know. But if they got to fight at Mania next year, what type of match would you like to see them do?
I would probably say your match that you did last episode, TLC Hell in a Cell. I would probably have Jeff and Punk work their way up to the top of the cell, have Jeff and Punk fight on top of the cell, and Jeff take Punk and throw him off the cell. I would want to see that. Jeff Hardy throwing CM Punk off the cell like taking it to Foley. That would be awesome. What do you think?
I think as opposed to copying a spot and throwing him off the cell, I think it would be kind of cool if Jeff could somehow put Punk through the cell and then swanton into the ring off of the cell.
That would be cool.
That would be a little bit more original and probably a little bit more up Jeff's alley, in my opinion.
Or a Twist of Fate off the cell, like he does. Twist of Fate and Punk, his little, you know. I don't want to get into another rant about CM Punk. But
Yes, please don't. We know you don't like him.
Yes, we do.
Team Ego has a question regarding the Edge and Jericho, like I mentioned on part 1. They want to know what we think of Edge and Jericho winning the tag titles and where do we think they will go with this storyline. I kind of like the fact that Edge and Jericho are willing to humble themselves and take a step down from the main event to the mid-card and have a chance to run with the tag titles.
Seriously, Jericho went from World to IC all the way down to Tag.
You know, that just shows that these guys, even though they're main eventers, they're willing to attempt to put people up into the upper echelon, if you will, of the talent pool.
Yes.
Where do I think they will go with this? There's only one place I could see them going with this, because they're not going to have a long run with it. Like your name suggests, they are Team Ego.
Yes.
Their egos are so big, I'm surprised one of them can fit into an arena. So I see them going for a couple of months. SummerSlam, maybe no longer than Survivor Series as tag champions, and possibly keeping Jericho heel and Edge turning face.
Yes.
Like my boy Double A wanted to know last show. When are they going to turn Edge face? They might just do it with this angle.
Yep. Next question.
Next question is from Kevin, a.k.a. our good buddy K-Spence. WWE is sucking really bad lately. How would you guys make it better, and what are your ideas for storylines and matches? Without saying anything about CM Punk or Jeff Hardy.
Well, that's not possible.
How would I make it better? I would promote new guys to the main event. I'm tired of seeing the same 5 or 6 guys every few years in the title hunt.
Yes.
Back during the Attitude Era, it was Austin, Michaels, Rock, Foley, Trips, and Taker. Now it's Cena, Orton, Edge, Trips, Michaels, and Taker. 3 of those names are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Only 3 names got promoted. Punk has gotten 2 title runs, but he's really not in the title picture. He just keeps getting lucky with Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio is a former champion, but he only got it, sorry to say, because his good buddy passed away.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Eddie.
Yes.
But they need to elevate guys like Evan Bourne, Shelton Benjamin,
Yep.
William Regal. Even Vladimir Kozlov would make a good heel champion. I don't like him, but he would make a good heel champion. Mark Henry needs to get pushed now that he's babyface. He's only had ECW title. Push him with a small championship run.
MVP.
MVP is ready.
Yep.
There's a lot of guys that are just snapping at the heels, ready to get in there.
And give Jeff a title run more than a month. You know,
Or
and-
even Matt.
Yeah, even Matt too. V Wanda. And hopefully he takes enough time off where the fans forget about him. He makes a huge return at SummerSlam and becomes face. And hopefully, you know, he can get a nice world championship. Because out of the 2, I would say Matt will get world over WWE.
Last question is from YouTube. Matitude Fan Forever wants to know, why do we think WWE hasn't turned Matt face, knowing that he isn't a good heel? And when do we think they will, especially with Jeff's new feud with Punk?
We just answered that problem.
Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to turn him face anytime soon. I mean, hell, we saw the one thing we never thought we would see. Matt Hardy help Edge.
Twice.
I don't think that he's going to turn face and help Jeff with Punk if they keep that feud going. If anything, I think he's going to help Punk beat Jeff, because who knows Jeff better than Matt?
Now, for all you kids out there, I probably wouldn't watch this because my man Sean's going to go a little tirade about a couple of people. So, mommies and daddies, take them to go play Wii or PS2, watch some Raw and SmackDown.
Put them to bed if it's late at night and you're watching this.
A lot of language, a lot of vulgar language is about to happen. So, Sean, rant.
Yes, this portion of episode 5 is definitely rated TV MA. I am not going to pull any punches. I'm going to shoot from the hip, and I am going to use a lot of language. Be forewarned. First part of my rant. Michelle McCool becoming the first woman in history to be Women's and Divas Champion. What the fuck? Bitch, pull Undertaker's dick out of your mouth and eat some real food that'll put some meat on your bones, okay? Stop breathing. I'm tired of seeing your rib cage. I want to take JR's barbecue sauce and slap it on your ribs there, okay? It might actually give you some texture to your body. You are not talented, and you are only where you are today because of The Undertaker.
Sure.
If Undertaker dropped your ass today, you would be on Hollywood Boulevard turning tricks for $5. End of story. You need to take that skinny ass to Hometown Buffet for 1 week straight and sit there from when they open the doors until they close the doors eating something, because your ass is too skinny. I don't even know how a dude like Undertaker would do anything with you, because he probably comes too close to snapping your ugly ass in half. That's my Michelle McCool rant.
Okay.
My second rant is for John Cena. I'm sorry, I have done my best in the last few episodes to not rip on John Cena too much because there's so many Cena fans out there, even though we dislike him. I mean, hell, your woman and my woman even like John Cena.
Yeah.
So I have done my best not to rip
And
John Cena.
once upon a time, we did like John Cena. And
Yes, we did.
I still like him a little bit, because he is, an entertainer. But as far as a wrestler and him getting the title every single month or whatever, that needs to stop.
Yeah.
So we like this John Cena, not that John Cena.
So, anyways, my rant about John Cena. Number one, stop shoving him down our fucking throats. John Cena used to be a very talented wrestler. Go back and watch the My Life DVD. Watch his debut match against Kurt Angle. Check out the chain wrestling that he used to do. John Cena used to be an awesome wrestler. John Cena now is garbage. Like, seriously, John Cena's wrestling looks like stuff that I leave behind in the toilet. It is that bad. And what really set me off with Cena, and the reason I'm doing this rant, is this past week on Monday Night Raw. John Cena versus The Miz, Part 2. Okay, The Miz beat his fucking ass for like 10 or 15 minutes. And then out of nowhere, John Cena has done no offense the entire match. He's just been beaten down. Out of nowhere, Cena comes back with a shoulder block, proto bomb, you can't see me, throwback, leg drop off the top rope, STF. And Miz taps out. What the fuck? Okay? What the fuck? I just said in how to make the shows better, elevate talent. The Miz is waiting in the wings to get brought up. The Miz is awesome.
Yeah. Just beat it, like in the background. And just, for that, rest in peace, Michael Jackson. Sorry.
It's good we got interrupted right there because I could have kept going about John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena needs to get injured seriously, be out of action for like 5 years like Shawn Michaels was, and then maybe they won't push him as hard. Because even Shawn Michaels has only had one world title since coming back from his 4-year hiatus. That's what they need to do with John Cena. John Cena is what, like a 5-time champion? He's a 5-time WWE champion, two world heavyweight, I think. Statboy, look into it. He's only been in the company for 7 years. That means he has, on average, had one world title for every year he's been in the fucking company. That is insane. Get off of Cena's nutsack, let them breathe, and give somebody else a title push.
Let them sway.
That's it for my rant right now. For Chris, I'm Sean. I apologize again for all you parents for the vulgar language. Make sure you don't let your kids watch this part. Hopefully you sat back and laughed it because I know you're tired of spending $25 on the same fucking t-shirt every couple of months too. We'll see you next time on episode 6 of A Hearty Conversation.
now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
What does everybody want? Hopefully no DQ&A, because that's what you're getting right here. No DQ&A here on NoDQ.com. I am Aaron Rift, the owner of NoDQ.com. Let's get right down to your questions. Hey Aaron, I wanted to run by you who I think should be in the 2012 WWE Hall of Fame class and see what you think. The Rock, Trish Stratus, Edge, Undertaker, since it's likely his last Mania, and Owen Hart. Okay. As far as Trish Stratus and Edge go, I think WWE will save them until the next time WWE does WrestleMania in Canada. There you go. And as far as Owen Hart goes, people ask about Owen Hart being in the Hall of Fame all the time. His wife, his widow, Martha, is against it. And until she agrees for Owen Hart to be in the Hall of Fame, I do not think WWE is going to go against her wishes and put him in. So it's not WWE disrespecting Owen Hart. There's that whole legal issue and that whole respect issue, respecting the widow's wishes. So yeah, Owen Hart probably not anytime soon, if ever. Unfortunately, I definitely think he deserves it. As far as Undertaker goes, I do not see him going in until after he is retired. I think it would be a mistake to have him come out. First of all, when he does go into the Hall of Fame, I want to see him break character and finally talk about his career, just as the human being Mark Calloway. And if they do that before WrestleMania 28, that kind of takes the R away from this whole character. So yeah, I see that happening after WrestleMania 28 with Undertaker. And The Rock is very much a possibility since WrestleMania is in Miami. So there you go. Okay. I was reading recently where a high-ranking WWE executive, for whatever reason, doesn't want to see The Rock versus John Cena match take place. If that person gets their way, could we see Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 28? Well, if this rumor is true about the executive, I can see where the guy is coming from. John Cena is the WWE's top babyface, and there's no way that he's going to be the top babyface at WrestleMania 28 against The Rock in Miami. He is going to get booed out of the building probably like never before. But the thing is, there is so much money to be made here with this WrestleMania 28 match. WrestleMania 27 was the single biggest grossing event for WWE in the history of their company. The pay-per-view buy rate did over 1 million. The ticket sales were through the roof. Merchandise, everything about WrestleMania 27 was an overwhelming success. So for them, this is the single biggest match they've ever had probably. So there's no way that they're going to cancel it because they're afraid of Cena getting booed and it's counterproductive to the direction that they're trying to go with Cena's character. I'm sure they'll figure something out as to how to do the finish and where Cena's character goes from there. I do not think Cena's turning heel. As you know, I'm sure everyone's wondering, is Cena finally going to turn heel at WrestleMania 28? Probably not. Alright, let's see what else we have here. Should CM Punk bring back the Pepsi Plunge as a way to spite Triple H? Sure, I'd love to see that. And in fact, I think there's a decent shot of it happening. Maybe you guys should send CM Punk some tweets on Twitter at CM Punk. Maybe suggest this to him. You know, I definitely think that's a possibility right there. Do you think anyone on the WWE roster who has not been world champion will one day become a world champ? Well, at the rate things are going, you know, probably the whole roster will be world champion by the time 2012 comes along. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how many guys have been world champion, you know, in the past year here. Does anybody still remember Dolph Ziggler being world champion? There you go. Okay. What are your thoughts on Cena and Orton both having won more world titles than the Dead Man? It's crazy that Orton and Cena have had more world titles in just 8 years in WWE to The Undertaker, who has been there for 21 years. But that's why anything can happen in WWE. Okay, does it even really matter how many world titles somebody has? What matters is how long you've been world champion. That's the way it should be, you know. Isn't it better to have one world title reign and never lose than to win and lose it 16 times or whatever? So I always thought that was kind of silly how the guy that held the title more times is seen at a higher level than somebody that held it just once for like a year or whatever. That's just my opinion. Okay, what is the best WWE match that you have ever watched? Okay, yeah, this should have been under the frequently asked questions edition of NoDQ&A video, but I'll go ahead and talk about it here. My two favorite matches of all time. The first one would be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, because in my opinion, that was the perfect match. You know, they did the double heel turn with Steve Austin and Bret Hart. They told an amazing story. And that visual at the end with Steve Austin, you know, in the sharpshooter, covered in blood, refusing to give up. I just thought that was probably the most iconic moment in WWE history next to Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant. That was really one of the all-time classic matches. And, you know, those guys just beat the living hell out of each other. And it was very believable, very real. That's how it felt. Just, I love that match so much. And that would probably be my number one match of all time right there. And a close second would be Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker later that year, that October 1997, in the very first Hell in a Cell match. Just an epic fight between those two. Shawn Michaels bumping like a madman for Undertaker. It was just incredible to watch. And then I love the end with Kane finally coming out. It's gotta be Kane! It's gotta be Kane! I love that. And then Kane tombstoning Undertaker, and then Shawn Michaels covered in a pool of blood, just putting one hand over the Undertaker and getting that win. And then Triple H has to carry him out. Just tremendous stuff right there. Those two matches, I mean, that was when wrestling was really at its peak, in my opinion. I love those matches. I highly recommend them to anybody that has not seen those matches. You know, just tremendous, tremendous stuff right there. Okay, that's going to do it for NoDQ&A video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. I'm going to try to do these videos at least one a day, maybe more. We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of demand there is for this product. There he is again. God damn it. Anyways, okay. Make sure, let me point to him. Check out youtube.com/TheCatDiaries to see him doing crazy antics. There you go. And submit questions, formspring.me/AaronRift. And we'll see you next time for NoDQ&A.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Revolution Go Home Week, Dynamite and Rampage watch parties. Mistress Audio dramatic readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. Elimination Chamber retrospective. WrestleMania Retros coming to the Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated channel. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play series. All of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. The entirety of the NASCAR Thunder 2004 Let's Play series. AEW Revolution watch-along coverage featuring Noah Foster and James Hebert. Wrestle Kingdom 17 coverage in conjunction with the Jeff Meacham Network. A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Casa D18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting, Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news, ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Royal Rumble Match Marathon with retros of events following Marathon. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 5 of Renegade of Wrestling. I am your host, the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, here to bring you some of my thoughts about the goings-on in the world of professional wrestling for the week. Big news coming out of Raw and SmackDown as we head towards the Elimination Chamber matches. Both chamber matches are set. Edge is going to be defending his title in the SmackDown chamber, but The Miz will not be defending his title in the Raw chamber. Instead, The Miz will be going one-on-one with Jerry the King Lawler at the pay-per-view. Again, I'm a Miz fan, but WWE, if you don't have faith in your champion to carry the match, why put the strap on him? Just throwing that out there. Instead, the Raw chamber, if I can remember correctly, I know we got John Cena in over there, Randy Orton, CM Punk. I'm blanking on the other names. Over on SmackDown, you've got Edge defending. You've got Dolph Ziggler in there, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, I believe. Both chamber matches look like they're going to be pretty decent matches right now, but the main flaw is that The Miz is not defending his title in the chamber. My speculation is that they really want to push towards this Miz-Cena match at WrestleMania, and the only way they can make that for the title
is by not having Miz compete in the Chamber, because realistically speaking, there's no way he'd come out of it. Over in TNA, we found out who they were. They are them. Them are they. Fortune was they. Robert Roode, AJ Styles, Kazarian, and James Storm jumped ship from the Immortal bandwagon and aligned themselves with Kurt Angle, Scotty Steiner, and Crimson. Of course, this was supposed to be the return of the Main Event Mafia, but with Diesel and Booker T popping up over on WWE now, they couldn't make the Mafia go, so they had to come up with something at the last minute. Based off of what they had to work with, I think this was a good idea. AJ's promo sounded like he meant it when he was talking about how this is the company that they built and they're tired of playing a backseat to all these ex-WWE stars that Eric Bischoff is shelling out money for to bring over. AJ Styles as a face has always been good. In my opinion, AJ Styles has never really worked too well as a heel. There have been times in the past when him as a heel have been okay, but for the most part, he is the face of the company, even more so than Jeff Jarrett is. When you think of TNA, you think of AJ. AJ's got to be on that front line, that baby face, to help fight Immortal as opposed to be a part of Immortal. That's just my thoughts. What do you guys think? I'm going to answer a question this week. I did a question a couple weeks ago. Got another one in my mailbox today. Wanted to know who I thought should be brought over to TNA's X Division to help give it a boost. And I've been given the liberty to pull people from both the WWE and the Indies. So I'm going to go for the WWE first. Over in the WWE, Evan Bourne. Chavo Guerrero. Hell, Chavo Guerrero is doing nothing in WWE. You put him over in TNA's X Division, he will become a god. Okay, because he is that good of a cruiserweight. He will seriously give the X Division a kick in the ass and be a respectable champion. They already released Caval. People are already speculating that he's going to go back to TNA, where he kind of made his name as Low-Key and Senshi. Take your pick which one. He'll probably end up over there too. If they don't have anything to do with him in the next year or so, I'd say Daniel Bryan over in the X Division would make an awesome addition. Over on the Indies, El Generico, Ring of Honor. Shelton Benjamin would kill the X Division, because you have to remember, the original TNA X Division philosophy was it's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. That's how a guy like Samoa Joe was able to be the X Division champion, because Lord knows he doesn't qualify as a cruiserweight, but he had that X Division mentality. Shelton Benjamin's got that X Division mentality. Chris Hero, Famous B, over here from the NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood promotion and the Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy, would be an awesome addition to the X Division, giving him a chance. Ray Rosas, the same thing. NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood / Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy. Ryan Ramos, awesome addition. He's a great up-and-coming cruiserweight that I've known for many years. Again, what do you guys think? Email me, renegadeofwrestling@yahoo.com. That's all I've got for this week. I'll be back next week. Don't forget to check out Thursday, the brand new episode of Dads of Wrestling, featuring the return of Mr. TW, Jeff Meacham, by my side. For right now, I'm the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, and I'll see you next week.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Guess what, fans? I'm back again. It's That Boy Rants, episode 5. But no applause today. In fact, no noises, because that's what you guys want, I guess. So I'm going to break down and do it. No funny noises today, I promise. Okay, so, a lot of stuff to talk about. And as always, these rants are Stat Boy approved. Let me get up to the...
Hashtag Stat Boy approved.
Yeah, a little joke with all the Twitter stuff is a lot of people are, especially my good brother, the Renegade of Wrestling, he likes to put hashtag StatBoyApproved at the end of his tweets. Who knows, maybe it'll be in the top 10 trends before we know it. I don't know. In fact, speaking of catchphrases, let me get to my first internet fan here, HC Drools, D-R-U-L-Z, 0001. Why do you say more power to ya, or more power to him? It's a catchphrase, it's a cliche, it's a gimmick, it's a trademark. I mean, Lord knows there have been plenty of those around. You can't see me, you know, stuff like that. It's just a phrase, you know.
That's your Archie Bunker catchphrase. There you go, right there. That's business!
Yeah, really. That's the business. That's all. So you see, like I say, John Denver had Far Out and all that stuff. So, if I say it, I say it. If I don't, I don't. It's just a catchphrase. I'll try not to. But don't be surprised if I do. Okay.
I like them apples.
See? There's another one. I almost wanted to go on like an entire conundrum of cliches,
Damn.
See? There you go. You see? Where's the beef?
Just that damn good.
You see? Keep throwing them out here. Maybe I'll...
We don't want noises, but we're still talking over them.
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
Okay.
No,
fine.
it's not.
All right. Next topic. Mick0032, your third rant, brother. The title belt design. Does it need to be changed? Yes. Yes. I'm glad that the centerpiece does not spin anymore. The spinner was stupid. When Miz turned the W upside down, okay, that made it funny, but still. The plate is too big, obviously. The strap itself can stay, but I think the plate is too big and too clunky. Maybe just make it, and it being square, no. Make it round, like almost like the World Heavyweight title, put the eagle on it again. The winged eagle is my favorite belt. That is my all-time favorite belt. Put the scratch logo, the current logo in there, or the scratch logo, whichever one it is. World Heavyweight, or WWE Championship. Put the nameplate in the middle. Put an American flag on one side. Just change it up a little bit, or get rid of this. Don't be a square. Journey Freak. Talk about how what's being known as TextGate got screwed up by WWE. Well said. They could have ran with this so many. I mean, it could have been like, who shot JR? Who sent the mysterious text? And to find out that the text came from Triple H's phone and he sent it or whatever. I mean, that's like showing who killed who in the first episode of a drama. That's stupid. Vince could have done it. Stephanie could have done it. Shane could have come back and done it. Hell, Hornswoggle could have done it. Teddy Long could have done it. The drunk guy in the fans could have done it. I could have done it. I could have somehow miraculously gotten Jeff Meacham could have done it. The Renegade could have... Obama could have done it. Double A could have done it.
Jeff Meacham runs all conspiracies. Hashtag...
C-O-N-spiracy. Another cliche. Heck, Harry Carey could have come back from the dead and done it.
Mad cow.
Mad cow. Mad cow.
Every time you did it.
Manny Ramirez could have done it from his jail cell. Ooh, too soon. Too soon.
Not too soon.
Never too soon in Casa D18.
JFK is.
No JFK. Like I said,
Tupac could have done it.
Tupac could have done it. You never know.
That crazy
Michael Jackson.
Too soon, Michael Jackson. and so, like I say, it only lasted 3 weeks, and now Nash is gone. So, and honestly, yeah, we don't know. I forgot to write down who put this quote. I'm sorry. The top 5 wrestlers that never won the world title. And in no particular order, British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. The feud between he and Brett over the IC title would have been a lot better if it was for the world title. But of course, Brett didn't win the world title for another year afterward. And especially, it would have been yes.
Stat boy, you done fucked up your own stat. He was Intercontinental Champion in August '92. He won the world title October '92.
Okay, a few months. I'm sorry. See, even Statboy screws up. Anyway.
That Statboy fuck up was Statboy approved.
Hashtag.
Hashtag.
Like I said, winning the heavyweight title in England would have been a much nicer run for him. Next up, Arn Anderson. He could have done a lot better. Yeah, he was the Horseman. Yeah, he had a tag team title as the Brainbusters, It would have been nice, because then he could have probably Well, I don't know if you want to say he was in Flair's shadow, because Flair had the title all those times and Arn was just Horseman and tag belt. So yeah, he could have stepped out of Flair's shadow and he could have had a good run with the belt. Ted DiBiase, throw him in there. He had to go and buy the belt. We don't know for how much, but I mean, to get all the way
$1 million.
Another catchphrase. To go and buy it off of Andre the Giant when he had enough money as it is, that was a joke. To get all the way to the finals of WrestleMania 4, that was a slap in the face. And so of course the $1 million belt was very cool too. But he could have had a nice run. Ravishing Rick Rude, he could have taken that belt, and if you hated him before, if he would have been gyrating around with the belt on his waist, it would have made it a lot worse, And he had a cool mustache, too. Mustaches. Porn star mustaches, yeah. And last, Roddy Piper. He could have really run with the belt, Instead, he got a nice IC run. He had to wait a long time before he finally got a tag run. But, I mean, Piper could have really gone crazy with that, so that's a yes.
Take Ravishing Rick out and put Jake the Snake in that place.
Say that on your own show. This is mine. Have a good day.
Way approved.
Yeah, right, whatever. Next up on the list, CM Punk 49. Who would you want to see in the playoffs more? Baseball. Angels versus Red Sox or Angels versus Tigers? Get out of here, Double A! Angels versus Red Sox is overdone. And besides, the Red Sox pound on us more of the time. Would I like to see Angels Tigers? Yes. Not for the state of my team is better than yours. For those of you who don't know, Double A standing right over there, he's a huge Detroit fan, and he loves to get into it over every sport, be it the Red Wings, be it the Tigers, be it the Lions. Do you care about the Pistons?
I'm a Lakers fan through and through.
There you go. There's his problem right there. He's a Laker fan.
But I do go for the U of M football. Hail to the victors, baby.
Okay, go away now. Be quiet. Go away.
Go! Oh, wait, wrong school. Sorry.
Thank you. Anyway, like I say, Angels Red Sox has happened too many times in the past. Lacey 55566. Do you think Batman Arkham Asylum is the best video game around? I've only sampled it, so as far as that, no. I haven't played it all the way through to get a good enough rant on it. I should, though. The Lego Batman series is a lot more fun. But from what I saw, the graphics on Arkham Asylum, pretty cool. It's not too violent, so it's rated E for... No, it's not rated E. It's a good game. I'll say it. It's Stat Boy approved. Go out and play it if you like Arkham Asylum. Let's see, what's next on the list? 49er Wiz. Are you gay? Straight answer. Shut up, Double A. Fuck off. No rant necessary. Straight answer. No, I'm not. Let's get that out in the open. That's all I'm going to say about that. I am not gay. What? So, next up, Coolio, 1986. What movies really blow your mind and what movies really suck? As far as mind-blowing movies, I can't really think off the top of my head. Sorry about that. I'll give any movie a chance. As far as the ones that really suck, and I'm probably going to get a lot of heat from comic book fans, the Eric Bana Hulk. That was a clusterfuck in itself. I mean, they could have... I'm glad that Ed Norton did the remake. The Ed Norton Hulk is much better because the Eric Bana was way too big. The CGI, I mean, they had him... He could fill the Grand Canyon. That's how tall he was. It's like, I always thought he was, bodybuilder size, not Twin Tower size. That was horrible. And sticking on the comic book movies, Superman Returns could have been a lot better. I mean, it was a chance to reboot the series, but Kevin Spacey did a good job as Lex Luthor, but they just could have... I'm glad Man of Steel is coming out next year. We'll see where they'll go with that. And then if you want to go horror movies, don't even watch this one. Don't even look it up. It's called The Scorned. It was basically a bunch of reality stars trying to make a movie. If you find this copy, burn it. It sucked. It was completely horrible. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. We're good. We're done. Let me plug the shows. After the Bell, coming up. Again, another episode. Watch Renegade. He's 27 episodes in, and he's doing a good job. Renegade's my brother. He's doing a good job. Let's see what else. Dad's on Wrestling. Don't forget them. Double A, you need to do a show.
I shoot whenever I get the niche, damn it.
Well, get the niche now. And as like I say,
get the niche or the itch?
No, don't get the... What shirt is this? Hold on, let's see what this is.
Famous B.
Oh, is this the new Famous B shirt? Yeah, let's...
Turn that shit right! Turn that shit right!
Alright. Let's
That's right, nigga!
Let's plug the...
Oh, now we gotta reshoot because you said the N-word on Mikey's show.
I don't want that on my show, alright? Check out this cool shirt.
That's wrong.
The new Famous B shirt. Famous B, you're a cool guy. Look at that. There you go.
Is Famous B your broski of the week, Mikey?
Yes, he is. Absolutely. Here's the back of it.
There we go. All right.
And also, I made a promise. I should have done this 2 episodes. Nick Madrid still has some shirts left over. He wants to get rid of those so he can bring out his new design. So, get this shirt. Get the Nick Madrid shirt. You know.
Quit shaking the walls in Narnia.
Quick shout out.
Once you get out.
Quick shout out to Mach 1. Congratulations on your new move. Well, you'll be back better than ever. As far as this episode, we are done, and Statboy is out.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome,
Ladies out there, and
welcome,
gentlemen out
ladies
there.
and gentlemen out
Yes.
there in the Dads on Wrestling universe. I am one half of the hosting team here, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams. This is Mr. TW, Jeff Meacham, and on this week's installment, we are going to talk about what wrestler from today reminds us of our favorite wrestler when we were growing up. For Mr. TW here, it's an obvious. He's been a Hulkamaniac since birth.
Pretty much. I
You
think
know.
it's since '83.
So, you know.
Although I started watching in '90s, so figure that one out, math kids.
Yeah.
For those of you in math class on your computer watching this instead of following your math teacher, figure it out. Okay. Anyway.
Me, it's a little bit more difficult to get into because I got into it in '98, as we've already established on many episodes of this show.
Yes.
We've almost beaten that like the proverbial dead horse.
Yes, that damn horse. Poor
Yeah.
horse.
We've beaten this worse than freaking Husky Harris got whipped on Raw a while
2 weeks back. Yeah, that was.
You know,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of touch a little bit on the favorites when I got into it, and then the people I picked up as favorites as I started to watch videos and DVDs and doing my homework and research. So, Jeff,
Well,
take us away with your Hulkamania rant.
with the Hulkamania rants, yes, sir. I started watching in October of 1990, and that was a time where we were leading into the Survivor Series because there were no monthly pay-per-views back then on either company. WCW had Halloween Havoc in October, but I wasn't watching WCW until Hogan showed up in WCW, as a matter of fact. I knew of Sting and Flair and that, you know, whatever, but I
Sounds
really...
like a good buddy of mine with not really following TNA until a certain Hardy Boy decided to pop up over there.
I wonder who you're just... no idea. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I started watching, and you know, of course, the bright colors and the, you know, the big muscles and the, you know, the prominent Fu Manchu attracts the young kids. I want to grow up to be like him.
So your prayers, take your vitamins.
Exactly. Believe in
AKA
yourself.
steroids.
Exactly. For a minute, I believed in the Warrior. Then I saw his match with Savage, and even as a kid realized, wow, that was pretty much Randy Savage versus, you know, this guy that doesn't deserve to be in there. And Warrior wins, and Savage has to retire. Tornado was one of my favorites too, Kerry Von Erich. I love Kerry Von Erich. Even though he was Intercontinental Champion for a minute, I still like Kerry. I was so sad when he shot himself. That was awful. But Hogan, of course, was number one, and I think the reason for that is he always stood up to those evil bad guys, Earthquake, and, you know, and at a time when Sergeant Slaughter turned his back on this country and went with the Iraqi, and we saw the picture with him and Adnan and Saddam Hussein, Hogan said, "No, brother, that's not how it goes," and won the title back. I mentioned this. I'm going to mention this later as we talk about the WrestleMania memories down the line. I had to watch Fred Rogan at 11 o'clock on Channel 4 because that's the only way I knew that Hogan won the title back from Sergeant Slaughter, because my cable cut out during WrestleMania 7. Fail, Palmdale cable. Fail. That's today's fail.
So who reminds you of Hogan?
Who reminds me of Hogan? Honestly, the guys that carried the company. Steve Austin and John Cena. More so Cena, because
I was
Austin.
gonna say Cena is like the epitome of the superhero now. The
Exactly.
say your prayers, take your vitamins, jacked up muscle head.
Yep.
Limited
Austin-
wrestling ability in the ring. We all know that he's got the skills. They just don't let him use them.
Exactly. Hogan is, and that's the difference right there.
Hogan never had them.
Hogan never had them. He had the basic training from Hiro Matsuda. He had the basic knowledge, but he never implied it because he didn't have to. When Cena first came in, his first match was against Kurt Angle. You better know how to fucking wrestle, and you're going to go in the ring with Kurt Angle and go in his face and go, ruthless aggression, and pop
And as
Kurt Angle
big
in
of
the
a
mouth.
Cena hater as I am, I encourage any Cena hater out there who has never seen this match to look up John Cena's debut match against Kurt Angle.
I believe it's June 02.
Okay? That is probably Cena's greatest wrestling match ever.
Yeah. And
not his best moment,
but it's
not going to be on all of his highlight reels,
pure
but his
wrestling.
best match ever in the WWE.
That
Look
one
it up.
and the Vengeance match against Jericho,
Yeah.
a couple weeks after that. Those two matches showed John Cena's UPW, OVW prototype training right there, baby. And then he got into the Vanilla Ice costume for Halloween, and everything started going downhill right there. Yes, he was ascended. Yes, he won the U.S. title, but personality-wise, to us hardcore fans,
Vanilla Ice equals fail.
Yeah.
Don't believe me? Watch Cool as Ice.
yes. I remember Vanilla Ice for the Ninja Turtle soundtrack. Okay?
Yeah, there you go.
Seriously.
That was his highlight.
It was his
That
highlight.
Nice Ice Baby.
Well, that wasn't part of it. No, it wasn't.
No,
Okay.
that wasn't
Anyway,
part of the soundtrack.
It wasn't, but it should have been. Damn it. And of course, Ice Ice Baby stole part of the music from Queen. So you know
Yeah.
that wasn't even his highlight. He stole that shit. Okay.
I didn't want to admit it.
Didn't want
But
to
we
admit it.
digress. Hulkamania,
Cena definitely. Austin a little bit only because he was the company carrier.
Wouldn't you
after
say
Hogan.
more Rocky than Austin, though?
Possibly, except Rock.
I mean, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to set up the Icon match.
True, but Rock only was the company standard bearer because Austin got hurt. Rock was never given the number one spot, and yes, he was champion.
True.
But he was never the guy.
True.
Triple H was the guy when he was champion.
That's why Austin always owned Rock in the Mania encounters until
19. Right, we'll talk about that as we go on.
Yeah.
But, you know, Hogan was a standard bearer for years. And yes, granted, when Austin won the championship and became the guy, he had others to help him carry. But right now, they're not letting anybody help Cena carry it. They're trying with Orton, they're trying with Edge, they're trying with this guy, trying with that guy. At the end of the day, they're getting scared and they're going, Cena, help us. Even though he's not the champion, they're still doing that.
And that became perfectly evident when he joined Nexus, lost his job, but was still on Raw every week.
Yeah. They should have taken him off and not done that one scene that they were thinking about doing.
Thank God they didn't.
TV. Oh my God. But they should have actually had him stay away and watch. And, you know, if I was Cena, I'd be like, fine, I'll go away and watch the company tank. And Vince knew the company would tank, so they couldn't get him off TV. Now, Hogan, same thing. You're not taking him off TV for a week or taking him off, you know. Granted, he took his breaks after he lost the title and all that, but he was never away for more than a month or two. He couldn't be. Hogan was the guy from 84 to about 89.
Yeah.
Had to be. Now, on your side, I see the hot rod,
Yeah.
which is the
Hogan's
antithesis of
greatest
what I'm-
rival.
No doubt, no doubt.
But for me, you know, getting into the industry when I did,
98.
the first guys that caught my eye were Rey Mysterio during his WCW area, when he was still, you know, like a $130 soaking wet with cement shoes on.
Yes.
You know, before he had 500 tattoos on his body, before he was even considered a world heavyweight champion contender. I know.
All right.
Rey Mysterio was one of my favorites. The Rock was one of my favorites because you just could not deny a Rocky promo.
No.
You could not. The New Age Outlaws were some of my early favorites. And it's funny because as I got into wrestling more and more, I started to like these guys less and less. And the reason became Mysterio got shoved down our throat.
And
Rocky, once I started learning how to wrestle, I started to realize that The Rock was not a great wrestler. Awesome entertainer, not a great wrestler. Kind of got to the Cena era. He started out great,
Watch his early Rocky Maivia matches, and he was awesome. But once he got to the point where he didn't have to anymore, he didn't. The New Age Outlaws still were entertaining, but just not as much. I started to morph into liking the guys that I despised when I first got into it. I started liking the Jeff Jarretts. I started liking the Owen Harts. I started liking, the guys that you weren't supposed to like, because for all intents and purposes, the heels carry the match.
Which is funny because I, at home now, get so much crap. I get flack from the lady upstairs, and I'm sure you get it from you upstairs, because we are Miz freaks, man. We love the Miz, man.
And I've been a Miz fan since 2004 when I first saw him on the Indy scene.
We're not supposed to like Mike Mizanin at all, but we do.
But we do, because
we love him.
Because he's, and not even that, but I kind of feel that little connection about, here's a guy I saw when he was breaking into business.
True.
Got to stick loyal to the boys that grew up in our backyard.
The boys, baby. And not only that, he is the epitome of what we want to be.
Exactly.
We are the marks that want to be WWE champion.
Exactly. I'm a Randy Orton fan. I was an Orton fan from his debut. I was an Orton fan when he injured his arm and started doing the RNN News
Network,
baby.
Yes.
I was his fan when he joined Evolution, became Intercontinental Champion. I was his fan when he beat Benoit for the World Heavyweight title. I was his fan when Triple H turned on him. I've always been a Randy fan. Nothing that WWE has done with him, face, heel, neutral, whatever, has made me waver.
How about Edge?
Edge,
just out of curiosity,
kind of the same. Edge, I lost a little bit for a while there because of the real life drama that came out with it.
That's true, because you're a Matt Hardy guy.
I've always been a Hardy mark. So when I found out that Edge was boning Lita, and Matt didn't know about it, when I went to go meet Edge on the road to WrestleMania 21, I wore my Team Extreme shirt with Matt, Lita, and Jeff. And all Edge could say was, "Nice t-shirt."
Nice.
The news had just broken.
Wow.
So I lost Edge for a little bit because of the personal.
Right.
And, I tried to get on people for that, but even I, back then, let personal affect my decision of them professionally.
So when he won the title, were you...
I was for it because I was anti-Cena by then.
Okay, yeah, seriously.
I was hugely anti-Cena by then. I was just waiting for someone to beat him.
Yeah.
But then as I started watching more DVDs and doing my research and reading encyclopedias, I've actually read the WWE Encyclopedia from cover to cover.
It's an awesome book.
It's a great read.
I recommend, even though I'm not a huge, I am a huge market for everything, but even though I don't like reading stuff like that big from cover to cover, as far as like WWE books, I recommend that, because that's an awesome book. Benoit's even in it, which is fucking cool. Everybody's in that fucking thing.
There's actually some people they missed.
That's true, they did. That's true.
I can think one name off the top of my list that, granted, he was only there for a month, but I mean, they've got guys in there that did like 1 or 2 appearances. Frankie Kazarian is not in the book, and he was on Velocity for an entire month.
It's true. But
as a featured performer, he wasn't just Frankie Baba Ganoush from the LA Baba Ganoush clan. He was Frankie the Future Kazarian on TV. He was one of the guys they were pushing.
Yep.
It wasn't like, freaking Taka Michinoku versus Christopher Daniels, and Christopher Daniels isn't in the book.
Right.
So, going back and watching the DVD and stuff, Piper automatically became a favorite of mine because, kind of like why I liked Rocky, the gift of gab.
Oh, God.
Piper was never the most skilled technical wrestler, but he could talk a mean game. He could screw you with his words. Jake the Snake.
The thing was, Piper was until Valentine broke his ear. Piper could wrestle a blue streak in Charlotte with the Crockett's, but his timing was just off because he couldn't hear out of one of his ears.
Jake the Snake.
Another great guy.
Awesome, Mr. Perfect.
Yep.
Again, most of these guys made their livings as heels.
Yep. The Snake. There was another one who was pretty technically sound, and then Punky broke a real guitar over his back and shattered his vertebrae, and that was it, man. The Snake can still go, don't get me wrong, but not as good as he could before '87.
People always talk about dream cards and dream matches.
I actually have one. I'll show you. I have one.
We'll actually do one on a future episode.
Have to.
But
something I've always wanted to see, and it doesn't even have to be a match.
Right.
But something I've always wanted to see is a promo battle between Jake the Snake and Raven.
Oh my God. Oh.
And I'm just going to leave it there with that oh my God that I just left him with.
That would be incredible. Jake the Snake and Raven promo battle.
But Orton, Miz, these are guys that I think are kind of carrying the ball of people that I liked when I was growing up and getting
but Orton's carrying on the Hot Rod Orton legacy.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
what do you guys think, though? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
YouTube, Facebook, all that happy shit.
Renegade of Wrestling at yahoo.com.
Talk Wrestling NoDQ at yahoo.com, or JDMeach1 at yahoo.com, or
He's
Facebook.
Mr. TW.
He's Renegade of Wrestling.
We'll see you next time.